Okay, so I just wanted to show the solution to this string distance problem on recursion 1 of CodingBat. And in this problem here, it's asking you to use recursion to, um, given a string and a substring, potential substring at the end, to check the largest substring beginning and ending with that substring. So in here, the first example, cat, cow, cat. Cat begins it and ends it. So it's kind of like bookends. And the length of that string is what they want you to return. So that one's 9 characters long. Here, you're looking for the substring cow, and so you're basically going inwards and you finally find cow, but there's no, it begins and ends with cow because it's just that middle piece, which does technically start and end with that. So, and the length of that is 3. There may be situations where the given string is empty, like this first thing is empty, but definitely the substring is not empty. They're stating that in the question. So you might have to handle that case where, this thing's empty and that thing is not. Also the fact that it might not be in there at all. But basically the idea is with recursion, you want smaller and smaller cases. So if we start with a long string, like in this example, and we're looking for cat, we would kind of start at the beginning and, it's not, you'd look for length 3 string because that's how long this is. First 3 characters don't match cat. Look at the last ones. No, they don't match either. So you could, it's safe to remove 1 character at a time. So, we could kind of, if we just focus on the front, we kind of remove that C, and now we're focusing on these 3. So that's length 3 substring. And again, we don't find cat, but then we advance 1 more and we found cat, right? And then we can start removing from the other end, until eventually we get cat there too, and then we can return the length of this whole string that we've got. But basically we're chopping it down each time, smaller and smaller, until we either find it or we don't at both ends. So the solution I kind of came up with, maybe not the shortest one, but it made sense to me anyways. So if you initially code the base cases, so there's actually 2 base cases, either it's there or it's not. So if it's not there, eventually your string, str, is going to get smaller than the sub. And that might be the case initially. Like there are a couple test cases where str is empty and this one is like 3 characters or more, right? So that handles that, just says 0, it's not in there. There is no length substring at all. Then there's the case where you actually found it at the beginning and the end. So this is a bit long, but you're basically saying, okay, this part here is going to say, okay, take the substring from character 0 all the way up to the length, but not inclusive. So that's the beginning bit. And we're saying the length of substring, right? So if substring is like if sub is 3 long, like cat, then it goes from 0 to 3, not inclusive of 3. So that's the first 3 characters of str. And we're just saying if that equals the substring, and at the same time, you just do it for the other end. And the other end is basically just, starting at the length of the string given minus however long the substring is, like cat is 3 long. So you're just subtracting that from the whole length of the string that you have and seeing if that equals to sub. So that's going to check if it's at the beginning and the end. If so, then you return length of the string. So those are the stopping conditions, base case. Recursive case would be, now I decided to do it in 3 parts. I just decided, okay, I'm either going to recursively call my method with a smaller substring where I'm chopping either like both sides off or just the first character or the last character. So these 3 ifs are just saying, if it's at the beginning, if it's not at the beginning and it's not found at the end, then you can chop off first and last. I just had to add this extra piece here to make sure it didn't crash by making sure it's at least length 2, so you can remove 2 characters at a time. And then this is just removing the beginning or the ending and passing it back in. Hope that helps.